President Harrison is closing out his 11th year here at the university, and is the 5th president in the 53-year history of the University of Hartford. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Harrison.
So I said to him, I want you to know I really miss you. I really miss having you here. John is naturally a rather modest person, and he said, oh, I'm sure you're doing fine without me. I said, no, I really miss you. I had no idea that 2 weeks from then I'd be standing here actually welcoming him back. So I'm really pleased at how this has all worked out. I wouldn't have been able to predict we would get here quite this fast, but it's really great to be bringing John Gallagher home. And I'm really optimistic about what this means for the future of our basketball program. So this time, to do the formal announcement, I want to introduce our athletic director, the woman who really has made all this happen so quickly and so well.
Thank you all very much. As you can just imagine, the last 3 days have been just flat out crazy. The intensity of Division I college basketball is evident, and never more evident than when an opening occurs. The gentleman that we are presenting to you today as the 10th head coach in the history of our program is a gentleman with an extraordinary background. And I know that many of you know some of this, but I want to make sure you understand all of it. John Gallagher played basketball at St. Joe's under Phil Martelli. He was a member of a team that went to the NCAA championship and to the round of 16. He then moved immediately to LaSalle, where he started his career as a coach. One of the things that we talk about in college basketball and sport is there are certain people that just are so very passionate about this game. You can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's in their bones, it's the core of who they are. And we have one of those guys with us today, and are so very proud to make him a Hawk. After LaSalle, with Steve Morris, he headed to Lafayette, where he roamed, studied, and learned more about this great game of basketball. He worked with Rainbow Hanlon, and I know he's going to talk about some of these folks because he's a very passionate guy, and these folks are very dear to him. When Hartford, under its new leadership, started this program 4 years ago, our head coach said, I need to have this guy. It wasn't said with moderation. It was said with a lot of passion and a lot of depth. And I'm sure at times he looked at me and said, no, you don't understand. I really need to have this guy. He will be so important to our success. We were fortunate to have John Gallagher with us for 2 years, and then Glenn Miller moved him away back to the city of Philadelphia. And as many of you know, most recently, the guy that just took over now, Steve to great heights, has moved on to BC, and he of course said, I need that guy. That guy is our guy. We are a young Division I program. Started this Division I in March in 84, 85. I can tell you very clearly, while we were young, 2 years ago, we had great feelings. We set records for 18 wins in our season. We had never reached that pinnacle before. We were one game away from the NCAA tournament. We did that with John Gallagher as a very critical part of the staff. He has been a critical cog in the development of this program. Who is John Gallagher? He's a man of great intensity. He's a great communicator. I will share with you that last night when he met the team for the first time at 10 o'clock, I saw smiles on some of these guys' faces like I haven't seen in a long time. And the dialogue went like, how's your mom doing? How's your sister doing? Did she graduate yet? What's going on? Now you're working on that degree. Wonderful, very personal dialogue, which is so critical today. John Gallagher is a communicator. He's a man who is as passionate about the game of basketball that I have ever seen. He lives it, he dies for it. It means everything to him. And I can see it in his eyes as we talked over the last couple of days. He's a great tactician. He's been a student of the game. Some of you here have known him since he was 12 or 13, and the stories about him are out there. And he has, in a short time at the University of Hartford, impressed so many people, reached so far, impacted so many lives in a very, very short period of time. You will see John Gallagher. You will hear him. You will learn from him. You will laugh with him. I could not be more excited than I am here right now to have this gentleman step forward as our new coach. And at this time, I would like to ask the Commissioner of the America East Conference, Patrick Nero, to, along with President Harrison, to step forward with me as we bring forward University of Hartford's 10th head coach, John Gallagher.
First off, I just want to say thank you to President Harrison, Pat Meisner, the American East Commissioner, Patrick Nero, and Coach Frank Sullivan. I know you're out there somewhere. I want to thank you too, just for this opportunity. That was about, looked at my watch, that was about a 10-minute speech, or 8 to 10 minutes. But that doesn't do injustice on where I've been and the people that have touched my life. And it starts with 15 years old, Bud Gallagher, Gallagher. Walk in the gym, Bud Gallagher, Gino Oriana, Steve W., Phil Martelli. Bud Gallagher taught me two things. We're going to take good shots, value the ball. Every day, that was what he preached. So from there, I go from Bud Gallagher to St. Joe's. Walk into St. Joe's gym, Phil Martelli. First month in, I understand exactly why he's one of the best coaches in America. His motivation, how he motivates. If he called our team on the phone, the 96-97 team on the phone right now, and said, listen, just got a phone call from the president. We have to go on a special mission. You can't ask any questions. 15 guys would show up at St. Joe's right now. That's why he's successful. From Phil, from Coach Martelli, I went, and Speedy Morris called me. I was 22 years old. I thought I knew everything. I knew nothing. going to Speedy. And the thing I learned about Speedy, and which I will do here, is everything is about the community. Everything. He made it about the Philadelphia basketball community and the Philadelphia community in general. And I'll take this and I'll say this to you right now. Hartford, this will be about the Hartford community. I have friends I've made here over the past 2 years when I was here. I'm going to continue to build, and our program is going to be about building bridges, not fences. So from that point, I go, Billy Hahn comes in at LaSalle, and maybe the most important word in college basketball, he taught me. Billy Hahn taught me what it means to recruit. He recruited 2 Final Four teams, one to Maryland, one to West Virginia this past year. Billy Hahn is the best recruiter in America. And every day we would be in the office at 8:30, and it would be who we get involved with, who we talk to, who's the most important thing. And I thought you had to recruit the kid and the parent. And Billy looked at me in the office at LaSalle and said, who's his best friend? What's the mother's sister do, the aunt? Where's she work? And I thought, I didn't ask those questions. And Billy said, I want to know the 10 people that circle that kid, and those 10 people will get letters. And I thought to myself, this is why this guy wins. So from Billy, I had the luck to go to Franno Hamlin at Lafayette. And I thank God every day about Franno Hamlin. Best basketball coach in the United States of America is Franno Hamlin. And I will say that unequivocally. How he teaches the game, everything is about the foundation. And Fran's nickname is Rainbow, and these guys don't know that, because in the middle of practice I'll say, Rainbow wouldn't be happy right now. Footwork, footwork, footwork. I can hear Fran screaming at me as an assistant. You were in the Atlanta 10 for 8 years and you don't understand how to catch, how you square? And I thought to myself, coming in here today, if it's not for Franno Hamlin, I don't have a basketball philosophy. I may have my personality, but I don't have my basketball philosophy. Franny, I really, really appreciate of that. From Fran, I came and had the opportunity to work with Dan Leibowitz. And Dan introduced me to this great Hartford community. And no one worked with more class and dignity than Dan Leibowitz. From Dan, I had the opportunity to go with Glenn Miller. And 2 things I learned from Glenn Miller. Opponent's preparation, and probably the most important thing in this world to me, he introduced me to my wife. And if he doesn't, if I don't go back to Philly, Glenn doesn't give me that opportunity. I don't have a beautiful wife, I don't have my beautiful child, I don't know where she is right now. Ken, there she is. I'm just blessed to have that opportunity. And then, the last 4 months I had an experience that was pretty interesting. Coach Miller was let go. Jerome Allen was named interim head coach. And I spent 11 years and I was kind of devastated. I sat at my desk and Mike Martin, who's one of my best friends in the business, is looking at me and I'm looking at him. And I just said, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why. And the phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and it's Bob Weinhauer. Bob Weinhauer went to the Final Four with Penn in 1979. He won NBA championships with the Houston Rockets as the general manager. And Bob Weinhauer stays on the phone with me for 1 hour and says, if you put it together, something special is going to happen to you at the end. I know you're probably bitter. And at the end, Jerome Allen and me had a bond that we worked 4 months together. It was like we worked 40 years together. We put it together, we had some great wins, and he taught me one great thing. And not that I didn't have it, he emphasized it every day to the players. It's not about him, it's about the we. It's about we. So then I had an experience this past week where I took the Boston College assistant job. Go up there. Steve Donahue is a Cardinal O'Hara grad. And we have so many different people that have connected us, but he's my biggest mentor, the person I haven't worked for. Steve Donahue says to me, the day I talked to Pat, he says, I call him, this is Boston College, the ACC, the highest level of college basketball. He says, if you can get that job, you gotta take that job. He said, Steve, you're in the ACC, are you sure? Now, just to give you a perspective on coaches, 95% of college coaches would say, I need you for a year or two, you can get something better than Hartford, or you can, he said to me, we win here at BC 5 years from now, you can get the Hartford job. And then he talked to me in this conversation, and this is what I strive to be like Steve Donahue, where he said, it's not about me, it's about the betterment of my team. Every day I get up, when he was at Cornell, he would say, what's the best thing for my team at Cornell, not me? And that's what I'm going to try to do here with Hartford. It's not about John Gallagher. It's about Hartford basketball, the Hartford community, and putting a great winner on the floor. How we'll play? Very simple. Fast, fast, and faster. We will run, we will share the ball. We scored when I was here, and we're going to score again. Defensively, I told this to Pat, I was 75% man, 25% zone, mix it up. But overall, I'm proud to know the majority of these guys I've recruited. I was 2 years ago, I was in the locker room, I was crying, they were crying, and you just don't know how the good Lord works. As far as my family goes, I'm not here without my mother. My Aunt Katie, she's a nun, and her Hail Mary's got me here. My dad is in Russia right now on a business deal. He's watching this online. I have 3 sisters. One's a lawyer, one's a doctor, and one's a college professor. They were always smarter than me. And my dad one day came into the room and he said, don't worry, John, you have the best instincts. And I thought to myself, that's a backhanded compliment saying that I'm not smart. But Dad, you're out there watching. I just want to let you know I love you. You've been great. To my wife again, you're everything to me. Basketball is 2, maybe not sometimes. To my mother-in-law, Michelle, thank you for everything. To all my aunts, I'm the youngest of 53 first cousins, so I can't get to all my cousins, but one of them came up here, flew up yesterday. Tom Ballou, everybody knows him as Bass. Where are you at, Bass? There you are, Bass. And that'll be it. Just closing on this note, we're going to leave this better than we found it every day. Everybody says you get to the championship level. You just have to leave it better than you found it today, and then a little bit tomorrow, and then a little bit tomorrow. And then you don't understand what can happen. But as far as the community, this is a dream. And as my cousin said to me this morning when we were working on this speech, he said, at the end, just say, let the dream begin. So that's what we're going to do right now.